Hey, good morning, everyone. Riley Foster here, Foster's Custom Steel. Back in the shop this morning. Last weekend was the show, and I was really pleased with how things come out. I sold a lot of really cool artwork. The big black walnut countertop with the cabinets under it, that sold. A lot of small artwork and a few large pieces. I sold the ironing board table, some furniture, and really overall great show. Was really happy to be there, but you know what? It's nice to be back in the shop where it's this quiet. Now I realize a shop shouldn't sound that quiet, so let's find something to do. I'm going to start a new project today. I've had it on my mind for, I guess, months now, and now that I've got some time, I'm going to start on it. And I'm going to take you along with me. I wasn't going to do videos on this, but I think it's going to be a new product. And I've got to build I guess the tools and the way to do this project before I can actually build the project. So I'll give you a quick rundown on what I'm doing while I'm showing you what's going on. Now, most of you probably know what that is. Excuse me, that's an overhead projector. And that used to be my grandson's Ninja Turtle puzzle. What I did was, that is no longer a Ninja Turtle puzzle. I glued with double-sided sticky tape. I didn't want the picture, I wanted the puzzle pieces. And what I did was I glued those down, and I wanted this. Excuse me, I wanted that. So I had to get all this out of here. This will give me multiple different shapes. And when I show you what I'm doing with these, kind of keep them all together and put them on the overhead projector. And I'm going to try to line it up on what I was projecting on, which is next to impossible because it's always backwards. Yeah, that makes me retarded. Oh, excuse me, you can't say retarded anymore. Slower than average. Oh, Lord. You know, that's close enough. I'm going to show you what I'm doing, and then this is going to be the start of this new project. All right, that is my puzzle pieces, and what I'm projecting them on is a piece of this very expensive birch plywood. And then I've already done this part, so what I wanted to do, I'm going to turn that off and I'm going to show you. I am going to cut these out, obviously. That is 3 pieces of jigsaw puzzle, and they average, excuse me, they average about 48 inches long, maybe 46, and then I think 16 to 20 inches high. And I'm going to do the Lichtenberg burn all the way across in several places. I'm not going to cover the whole table. I don't like that look. So I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to cut those jigsaw pieces out. And the problem lies with what do you do with the edges? Because what happens when you go against the grain here, you get that grain and it wants to splinter or pop off. I cannot laminate around those tight corners. Maybe someone can, it ain't me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these out really nice, and then I'm going to bevel them with a router, just a small chamfer on the top edge and the bottom. Then I'm going to use a really heavy latex paint to go around the outer edges. So hopefully that will keep it from splintering, because the object of this new product is you can use it as a coffee table, or you can take it apart and use it as 2 end tables and a coffee table. And I think that's going to be a pretty cool product to start selling. Now, I got to make it to where it's not so time consuming and just eating up hours and hours and hours, and then you can't sell it for much. So what I'm hoping is that I will be able to get a really good price for this set of tables. I'm going to do, and I'll show you that as we go along in the project, they're bent legs at random bends, and I'll use a 1/2 inch square bar to give it a little bit of weight underneath. But as we go along, I will show you some of the stuff that I'm doing, and I'm hopefully a couple of videos, we should be able to get this taken care of. So let's see how far we get today. Hold on one second. All right, hey, I'm gonna try to cut this with the jigsaw. And as I tell everyone, remember, you want to do safety first. Make sure, the cord's out of the way, and you're not gonna cut your head off or anything like that with the saw. That's probably a big plus. Try to get all that in there. There we go. And, earplugs. I'm wearing glasses. Someone may say, oh, you should have a shield. Well, tough. So, what I'm going to do, get these earplugs in, and we're going to try to run this jigsaw. I've got a medium blade on it. Hopefully it won't chew that plywood up. We'll see. So, I don't want 0. All right, you guys, probably, I hope you can see it, it was not that important to stay on that line because it's a jigsaw puzzle. They're uneven. I'm going to cut this out, but I don't want to cut the 2 middle lines because I want to do that burn across the jigsaw puzzle pieces, so that when you put it back together, it looks natural. So I'm gonna try to get this chunk swapped off here, and we'll go from there. Bad. All right, I don't know how it's going to go around those turns. Right now, I just want to get it off of there. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn that video off just a moment while I'm doing this, because if you've seen me cut a line, well, you've seen me cut a line. So hold on one second. All right, so guys, you watched me go from these pieces of puzzles, like I said, which used to be the Ninja Turtles. I'm using a small kids puzzle because the pieces are bigger and I wanted larger pieces. I guess you could try anything you want. That's the kickoff, and boy, what a pain in the keister to get that jigsaw to go around those tight bends. If you go really slow and careful, create some sawdust, you can come out with a pretty good blank. And that's what this is going to be called, I guess. That is, I'm going to try to hold it up there the way you can see it. Yeah, that is a 4 foot, like 46 inch by 20 inch blank. Now, getting these lines cut out is going to be a royal pain in the keister because I don't want big gaps, but I want them big enough to where they go together easy. So, that's going to be one of my next tricks. But right now, it's a blank. I'm going to knock the dust off of it, and I'm going to do some of this Lichtenberg burn. You guys get to watch me do that, so hold on just 1 minute. All right, I'm going to set this up. I'm going to show you the first couple of safety features. First of all, make sure that when you do this, you have a very thick rubber mat. Not only on your metal table, but under your feet. I am standing on a nice, well, it's a 1 inch thick rubber mat. This is 10,000 volts that's being used to do this, and it is a transformer, a 10,000 volt transformer out of the, not fluorescent lights, but, well, neon. Yeah, the neon lights. And I forgot to clean this. I'm going to wipe it off really good. And again, with this shape, I want to get the Lichtenberg burn straight through the pattern. I don't know how it'll act going across that graphite, because graphite's a conductive also. A conductor. So we shall see. The whole object of this solution is, it's the conductor. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to train or direct this voltage. This is a baking soda water solution. So I'm going to start on each side of this, and what I'm doing is I'm going to take some of this baking soda water. Let me make sure that's on there. Yep, I'm going to take some of that baking soda water solution, and it don't take much. And I'm going to sweep it across here like this. Now, let's see what that wet splotch gives me. When it's that wet, it normally takes a little bit before this starts arcing. But when it does, I'll get you over here close so you can watch it. This thing is really cool. So, I'm going to hit the off on switch. Actually, I'm going to bring it closer to me so I can stay on my rubber mat. Yes, because you do not want to touch the wood while this is doing this. Notice I put a red dot on my switch so I can know what's on and what's not, because this thing will light you up. So let's see if it will go. Hold on one second. I want you guys to see this. This is really cool. All right, I'm gonna cut it off just a second. I'll get the fans running. Hold on one second. Let me get the fans running. All right, so I got the fans running, and I had to get my hot cup of coffee, by the way. So we are back here. You can see what has started. You see where it's drying around it. Now again, it is off. So what I want to do is I want to move this shortly. I don't want to go too deep. I think what's going to happen is I'll brush that right there just to see if I can connect these two. And I'm also, oh man, look at that. Is that so crazy? Boy, thank goodness for the fan. Look at that smoke moving on out of here. All right, so that's it trying to make its connection, but I don't want to go much deeper than that, so I'm going to cut it off. I'm going to move it inward a little bit. Yeah. So it's what I'm trying to do is trying to get them to connect across that jigsaw puzzle. And again, I'm standing on my rubber mat. And this guy is on a rubber mat on the metal table, so I'm safe. It went right across that. Good, that's what I want. Oh, you can see it underneath. Look at that. Wow, that's hot, baby. Woo! All right, I don't know if this is going to work out really great. I got them separated pretty good, and it's fairly wet. Right? Well, I guess it will. So we're knocking on, well, 17 minutes. You can see, look at that. How cool is that? This over here. Yeah, safety first. Fans running. I'm still on my rubber mat. I do not want to get lit up by this thing. So I'm going to cut that off. And guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and end this video at 18 minutes. This is going to be an ongoing project. I'm going to get these burnt and cleaned